Good afternoon, everyone. This is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Brad Panovich. Scattered showers and thunderstorms starting to roll into the region. We've got some pretty big storms already to the south. You can see here on the visible satellite and radar loop together, big-time cluster of storms developing, one near Columbia, another one in the upstate of South Carolina, and yet a smaller one over in the Asheville area. I'm going to stop this quickly and kind of show you the temperatures right now. Most areas are in the mid to upper 80s. Dew points right now are running in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. So we got some really warm, unhumid air, or unstable air out there that's really humid. When you look at the Cape, that thunderstorm fuel we talk about, this is the surface Cape, and you can see these areas in the red. This is around 3,000 to 4,000 Cape. The areas in kind of the orange or yellow, that's about 2,500 to 3,000. Those numbers, you can see the scale on the left here. Once you get above about 1,000, you got plenty of fuel for the storms. Now, in and of itself, that fuel isn't what's going to give you severe weather. Oftentimes you need a little bit of shear or a little bit of dry air aloft. And sure enough, when we look at the shear values, I'm going to look at those here in a second. The 1 kilometer shear, there's not a lot out there, but when you look at some of the other shear parameters, you're looking at some pretty good parameters here for some gusty winds, straight line damaging winds, because we have just enough wind off the surface that can mix down in some dry air aloft. So we've got the potential there for some damaging winds mainly. That's our main threat. For that reason, the Storm Prediction Center did put most of the western half of North and South Carolina under a slight risk, an elevated risk, if you will, for severe weather. Typically, that chance is, 0 on any given day. If we have pulse storms, it may be 5%. Today, it's about 15% chance you could run into one of these isolated severe storms. Here's a look at First Warn Doppler radar right now at 2:37 in the afternoon. The strongest storms are coming up through the Spartanburg area. We've got new storms developing in and around York County. It looks like a couple trying to develop around Waxhaw, Weddington, Mineral Springs, back towards Indian Land, and then one down in Lancaster County. So if you're on Lake Wylie, you've probably got about 15 minutes, if that, before storms roll in. Uptown Charlotte, we're probably looking at more like around 4 o'clock, and up towards Lake Norman, probably 4:30, 5 o'clock before these storms start to roll in. So far, we've had a couple warnings over in the Asheville area, one down in the Columbia vicinity, but overall, it's really going to be the lightning and just the heavy rain that's going to be the issue throughout the afternoon. Megan's on the air right now tonight at 6 and 11, and of course, we'll keep things up to date on Facebook, Twitter, and at WCNC.com. It's always a good time if you don't have the Charlotte Weather app or the Weathercaster app, download it now, so when you're out and about, you can go ahead and grab the radars real quickly on the go. So once again, severe weather threat is about 15% today, but the chance of storms is about 80%. I'd say everybody's going to get soaked when you look at what's lurking to our south and west, and the fact that it's so hot and humid. It won't take much for storms to develop. Hope you're having a great Sunday, and of course, keep an eye on the sky, and if you see storms, make sure you seek shelter until they pass.